In today's video, we're diving into the subtle, powerful actions that shift the dynamic in your favor. Under flipping the script so that 99.9% of women feel this undeniable urge to chase you. This isn't about tricks. It's not about manipulation. And it's definitely not about pretending to be someone you're not. This is about tapping into the deep psychological truths, the behaviors that trigger something primal and magnetic in a woman's mind. If you've ever wanted to become the kind of man women find utterly irresistible, the kind of man they can't help but think about, then keep watching, because these insights are pure game changers. Let's jump in. It's surprisingly easy to attract women without much effort, if you know what actually works. Search how to make a girl like you, and you'll find the same noise everywhere. One guy says you need a muscular body. Another says you need money. Someone else says master pickup lines or seduction techniques. But here's the real truth, and it might shock you. Most men who are in healthy, fulfilling relationships and who naturally attract women don't have any of those things. That's because attraction isn't built on flashy tricks. It's built on presence, on energy, on understanding. And that's what today's video is all about. All you need to do is forget those superficial tips and come back to the fundamentals of real attraction. The kind that penetrates deeply into a woman's emotions and sticks in her subconscious like a song she can't stop replaying. And I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know to make any woman, yes, even married ones, feel something magnetic toward you. But before we begin, let me ask you something important. Have you ever paused to truly ask yourself, what actually makes a woman feel attracted to a man? Is it just about looks? Is it about how much you make? Or how well you dress? No, it's something deeper, something more invisible yet irresistible. And today, I'm going to unveil those secrets that most men never discover. Even after years of trying, stay with me until the end. Because while the first few tips will instantly raise your attraction level, it's the final one, the last psychological trigger that will make even the most emotionally guarded woman unable to resist you. But first, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on notifications so you never miss the secrets that can transform your relationships forever. Let's begin. 1. Confidence and charisma. Confidence is undeniably one of the core cornerstones of attraction. This kind of charisma isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop by practicing presence and genuine interest. Let's talk body language. You don't have to say a word to show confidence. Stand tall, shoulders back. Maintain soft but steady eye contact. Keep your hands relaxed and open. Even something as simple as a sincere smile, not forced, not fake, can shift the emotional tone of an interaction instantly. Remember, what you don't say can be just as powerful as what you do. And why does this work? Because confidence signals security. It tells a woman, this man doesn't need validation. He's centered. He's emotionally stable. And that is extremely attractive. 2. Active listening. Listening more and speaking less. Sounds simple, right? But let me ask you honestly, when was the last time you felt truly heard? Not just someone nodding while waiting for their turn to talk. I mean really heard, where someone was listening with their eyes, their heart, their full presence. It's rare, and because it's rare, it's irresistibly attractive. Women, in particular, are deeply attuned to emotional cues. They can tell when you're just trying to impress them versus when you're actually present. Most men listen to reply, but when you listen to understand, everything changes. It creates a ripple in her emotional world. She feels important. She feels safe. She feels seen. That's the foundation of emotional attraction. So how do you do it? First, be still. Don't fidget. Don't look at your phone. Second, respond with curiosity, not commentary. Third, make eye contact, not in a creepy stare-down way, just enough to show you're locked into her world. If she tells you she's been stressed about work lately, don't jump in with a solution. Instead, say, that sounds rough. What's been the hardest part for you? That one line, that soft opening, allows her to go deeper. And when she opens up emotionally, she bonds. It's biology. Listening like this gives you a powerful edge, because she's telling you who she really is. She's handing you the blueprint to her heart. And here's the magic part. Later, when you bring up something she told you, something small she thought you forgot, it'll shock her. She'll feel this surge of emotion. Why? Because it proves you weren't just there, you cared enough to remember. And most men don't do that. That kind of emotional attentiveness. That's how real desire is built. Not through pickup lines, but through connection. When you listen with intention and warmth, you stand out in a world full of noise. And trust me, she'll start to wonder why she feels so comfortable with you. Why she thinks about you more than the guy who just texts her compliments. That's the power of active listening. It's the silent seduction most men overlook. But we're just getting started. 3. Effective communication. Let's talk now about communication, not the cliché, just be a good talker kind. I'm talking about the kind of communication that builds trust, depth, and emotional fire. Because here's the truth. Attraction is easy, but emotional impact, that's rare. And it comes from how you talk to her and how you make her feel during those conversations. Effective communication isn't about being a smooth talker. It's about being real, clear, calm, assertive, and above all, respectful. Let me ask you, Chasana, how many times have you talked to someone and felt like they were wearing a mask? Women can feel that too, and they're wired to test for authenticity. So if you want to stand out, speak from the place inside you that's unfiltered, not trying to impress, not trying to dominate, just honest, grounded expression. Want hair? Say it clearly. Disagree? Express it kindly, not aggressively. Have feelings? Own them without needing validation. Women are drawn to men who can express their emotions with strength, not weakness. Because here's the paradox. The man who isn't afraid to feel is the man she feels safest with. When you show that you can express yourself, your needs, your desires, your values, and also hold space for hers, she sees you as different. She feels secure, emotionally challenged, and deeply respected, and all at the same time. That's what builds chemistry and connection. And that balance between self-expression and emotional intelligence, that's rare, that's sexy. That's what makes her think, this man gets it. And I can't stop thinking about him. 4. Show ambition without arrogance. Here's something powerful that most men never quite master. Women are naturally drawn to men who have a direction, a mission, a sense of purpose that fuels them. Why? Because it signals stability. It signals confidence. It whispers to her subconscious, this man can build. This man has vision. I can trust where he's going. Having clear goals and dreams shows that you have a life outside of the relationship. A life that's meaningful and expansive. And that's attractive. But here's where most guys mess up. They confuse ambition with arrogance. And instead of being magnetic, they start to feel unbearable. Let me make this simple. Ambition is sharing your passion with humble confidence. Arrogance is bragging about your achievements like they're trophies for approval. The difference? One draws her in, the other pushes her away. When you talk about your goals, whether it's building your business, learning photography, mastering your craft, or just becoming a better man, share it with genuine energy, not ego. For example, instead of saying, I run a 6-figure business, I'm doing great, say something like, I'm working on scaling something I really believe in. It's challenging, but I'm excited. That slight change in tone makes all the difference. True ambition isn't about showing off. It's about being dedicated to something that matters to you deeply. And it doesn't have to be a corporate empire. Ambition can look like being a loving father, taking care of your health, growing spiritually, improving in your hobbies, being financially responsible. A man who is goal-driven, not to impress others, but because he's invested in his own growth, becomes deeply desirable. He radiates responsibility. He inspires respect. And most importantly, he makes her feel like life with him won't be stagnant. It will be an adventure. So remember, the key is to lead with passion, not ego. Let her see that you're building something, and that you have a place in your life for someone who matches that energy. That's when she starts to imagine herself by your side. And that's when chasing you begins to feel inevitable. Vibe, smart humor, let's lighten it up now, because this next point is a massive secret weapon. Humor, but not just any humor. We're talking about smart, emotionally intelligent, well-timed humor, the kind that makes her heart soften and her eyes light up. Because here's the truth most men forget. A man who can make a woman laugh can also make her feel. Humor is more than just jokes. It's a language of connection. It's a way to disarm tension. It's how you turn ordinary moments into magnetic chemistry. The most attractive kind of humor isn't forced, loud, or try hard. It's subtle. It's playful. It's confident. It might be a clever comment on something happening around you. It might be poking fun at yourself in a way that shows you don't take life too seriously. It might be a warm, sarcastic tease that makes her say, "Stop it, you're terrible," while smiling ear to ear. That's when you know you've hit gold. Because here's what laughter does in a woman's brain. It lowers her defenses and opens her emotionally. When a woman laughs with you genuinely, she feels safe. And when she feels safe, attraction flows like water. Also, being funny signals something else. It shows you're mentally quick, that you're emotionally present, that you can find light in darkness, and that you bring joy into a room, not pressure. It makes her think, being around him just feels better. And don't underestimate that feeling, because how you make her feel, how good you look on paper. Remember, smart humor isn't about turning into a clown. It's about bringing lightness into her life. When the world is heavy, she'll want you around. Let's wrap up this part with a thought. You don't need perfect abs or perfect lines to make her want you. What you need is presence, direction, humor, confidence. The man who gets this doesn't chase women, he chooses. And women chase him. Before we continue, I want to share something that could literally change your dating life with just a few words. Have you ever thought about sending a single magnetic text message, one so emotionally charged? It creates an overwhelming desire in a woman to be near you. Imagine this. You're just a guy on her phone screen, but suddenly she can't stop thinking about you. She rereads your message. Her heart skips. Her mind races. She's smiling, and she doesn't even know why. That's the power of the right words. I'm not talking about cheesy lines or copy-paste flirts. I'm talking about a sentence that slips directly into her subconscious. A sentence that triggers emotional curiosity, longing, and even a little mystery, all at once. You might be wondering, what kind of message can do that? Let me break it down. There are certain psychological patterns rooted in female emotional processing that, when triggered, bypass logic and awaken feeling. When you send a message that sparks emotional unpredictability, implies closeness without desperation, feels personal yet slightly mysterious, she doesn't read it with her brain, she reads it with her heart. These messages speak directly to her emotional core, igniting her imagination, her curiosity, her romantic instincts. And yes, even if she's in a relationship, even if she sees you as just a friend, even if she's playing hard to get, one message can flip everything. But be careful. If you send this message and you're not ready for her to feel things she hasn't felt in years, if you're not ready for her to start texting you first, if you're not ready for her to start checking your stories, showing up where you are and wanting your attention like never before, then don't send it. Because once it's sent, there's no going back. These are the kinds of messages that can create an emotional loop in her mind. Make her dream about you. Make her feel a connection so intense she'll crave to be near you. If you're curious to know exactly what to send, you can download these secret messages by clicking the link below. They're not just texts. They're emotional triggers disguised as words. Now let's wrap this all up. Now imagine being able to send a series of messages that don't just spark conversation. They create undeniable chemistry, the kind that leaves her wanting more after every text. You don't have to chase. You don't have to beg. You don't have to impress. With just your presence, your energy, and your words, you can have beautiful women eager to spend time with you, sometimes even tonight. Because here's what most men don't understand. Attraction isn't built by what you do on the outside. It's built by who you are on the inside, and how well you communicate that truth to her emotionally. These messages, these conversations, turn ordinary moments into intimate, electric exchanges. And there you have it. The keys to becoming the kind of man who doesn't just attract women, but captivates them. A man who doesn't chase validation. A man who is clear, grounded, and emotionally powerful. The kind of man that women talk about in whispers. The kind of man they dream of finding. Remember, it's not about trying hard. It's not about pretending. It's about mastering your mindset, your confidence, and your behavior in a way that naturally draws people in. When you apply these principles, you'll start noticing something. Women are more engaged in conversations. They're more curious about your life. They're more open, and yes, they'll start pursuing you. That's not an accident. That's attraction done right. So now it's your turn. Take these insights, put them into practice, and watch how the world and the women around you respond. Thanks for watching. If you found this valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs it. Because every man deserves to feel wanted, not just for what he says, but for who he truly is. And trust me, once you awaken that version of yourself, the chase will never be one-sided again.